Right. Hello. Yeah.
Hi.
Okay. Hey, Ali.
Right.
You all right?
Yes, thanks.
Good. What have I done now? I've got this wrong. That's better, I think.
You're upside down.
Why am I upside down? That's the one.
That's it.
Probably better upside down. Right, see if anybody else joins us on this sunny evening. Maybe they're doing other things, but we'll see.
It's a bit warm.
It is. Yeah, it's been a lovely day. So Sean as well, that's good. Can't see many having a go tonight with the evening meetings, but we'll see. So what do we need? I think I forgot to put in today's summary.
What's doing that?
Right. Hey Sean, you all right?
Yeah, good mate,
Good
good.
to hear it, mate. Chair walk up. So we need a couple of we need a couple of something to act as like a slot pad. So if you're on carpet, then some Tupperware lid dishes, Tupperware container lids. If you're on a hard floor, a couple of cloths or something will all work well. So we can do our slide stuff, negative base slide stuff. A couple of chairs for our shoulder walk-ups later. So we keep the shoulders working on those. And that's all we need, I think, today. What time is it? Already a couple of minutes past, so we'll get going then. And we'll start with a little bit of mobilisation. Get the shoulders, upper body in particular, sort of ready for the session to follow. This a bit. Right then, so if you've got a couple of light dumbbells, that's great. If not, a couple of tins of food will suffice just for mobilising the shoulder girdle later on. Warm day, so we don't have to spend too much raising the body temperature, but we'll start with a little jog on the spot then if everybody's ready. I know there's not many with us today. I thought that might be the case given the weather outside. But a little jog on the spot. Let's just raise the body temperature just a touch. Into our little jumping jacks, our little star jumps. Back to our little jog. Sort of check squat to catch. Jog. The cross-country skiers then. And the jog. Now a little walk. All right, then mobilise the upper body then. Let's get straight into some external rotation. Some scarecrows. Clunking and groaning in my shoulders. Not a great start. A couple more of these. Okay, right. So what I was trying to do is get the backs of the hand facing each other so the shoulders are fully internally rotated and then externally rotate. So you try and get your thumbs to point behind you as best you can. Thumbs behind, backs of the hands, thumbs behind. So see the movement through the shoulder. Keep that scapula depressed, so don't shrug as you're performing this. Stay low with the shoulders. Try and get a bit further in the ranges with every rep. some circles then. Both ways. Nice and big. We'll go straight to the big ones. Changing direction. Opening up the chest and the back. So in that adduction, abduction in that horizontal plane. Now we've got shoulder flexion extension in the vertical plane. Just trying to mix up those planes a little. Internal, external rotation, horizontal, vertical. A little bit for the trunk, a few little twists. Whoop, creep, plunk, lower back. Well worth doing. A few little swing throughs. Activate those glutes. We'll try our best to activate those glutes. Get a little fold at the pelvis. Loosen off those hamstrings. We'll get on to a little bit of load now. So let's try and pop a little bit of blood into those shoulders. So I've got a couple of twos, only because they're just what's to hand. Ones would be fine. So again, let's load up that external rotation. You can twist externally by throwing the thumbs behind if you want to on this. Get a little bit more external rotation doing it that way. Few overhead press, just put some blood into the shoulders. We're going to get some scapular retraction stuff done now. So just a little tip at the pelvis, shoulders down and back. Just squeeze shoulder blades together. Don't worry too much about too much movement or movement at the elbow. Just get those shoulders squeezing together. Go to protraction, then retraction. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Now we can internally rotate a little, same movement. Just trying to bring the rear delts in a bit more. So let's row and press up. Good. Keep those elbows high. A couple more. All right, good. Shoulders ready then. That'll do a little 5-minute mobilization. All right, so the workout then. Let's have a quick check. See what we've got now, little sheet of paper. So we're going to follow the theme that we sort of kicked off on Monday. We did a lot of negatives for the legs. Perhaps we can maybe try and follow that theme for a little bit if we can. For the anterior part of the torso, the front of the torso, chest, shoulders, triceps. And we'll do the same for back tomorrow. So chest first. Slide negative flies, we've done those before. 3 sets of 6 with a 6-second negative. Single arm, knee push-ups with a negative. Well, I'll show you those. 6-second negative. Archer flies, again, really focusing on the negative. So we've got 3 big movements that really focus on the eccentric, the lengthening of the muscle. That's going to really kick in some soreness on the chest tomorrow, we hope. So that's always a nice indicator whether you had a good workout. If you've got that little bit of DOMS, that bit delayed onset muscle soreness in the muscle following day. So those are our first 3 for chest, and we get into shoulders and triceps. So set yourself up with your slide pads onto your slippery floor or your carpet if you've got your Tupperware lids. Something to protect the knees would be pretty good. So if you want to work off your knees, and it's to be encouraged really, if you're strong, then yes, work your full stuff. If you feel like your strength's leaving you, or you really want to focus on getting that high quality rep time under tension, rep after rep, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with working off those knees, particularly on these extended sets. So quick reminder then for the flies, I'll give you a quick reminder, 3 sets of 6 on this one to start us off.
Yeah.
So I'm taking my hips with me, and on 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Obviously that was just a fast count, just so we don't take too long demonstrating. Any way you want to, back to the top. I'm not so bothered about the concentric. It's more the eccentric that we want to try and load today. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're fighting the negative all the way and then bring yourself back to the top. Okay, we're going to go for 6 reps. Obviously 6 seconds on the negative, that gives us 36 seconds of load, plus the concentric coming back to the top. So we'll be pushing a good 40 seconds of load on these. Let's see how you go. So in your own time, let's go through 3 sets of 6-second negatives, gives us the required time under tension. As soon as you feel ready, away you go. So I'm going to try and get these, the first set anyway, off my knees just to lay the foundation. See how we get on. Good count. 6. No fast counts. Oh. 2 for me. Make sure that you get your body positions right at the start of every rep. So you're squeezing those shoulder blades together. You're leading with the chest. So you're not pushing those shoulders into protraction too much. You're letting your chest take that lead. And you're focusing on keeping that negative as slow as you can. Soft in the elbows. And you're doing your best to push your hands down into the floor. Press those hands down, the butt of the hand into the floor. That's my first set done. Have a little breather there. So the frantic pace of the volume training that we did last week. Very, very different feel this way now, focusing on the negatives. Just that different training method to try and advance our physicality, advance our strength, advance the development of these muscle groups that we're targeting today. Chest, shoulders and triceps. So we've got 3 movements for the chest to start us off. Quick 30 to 60 second rest in between. Little stretches, little bits of mobilization as you go so you don't get too tight. As soon as you feel good and ready, we can have a go at this second set. All right, I don't feel too bad there, so I'm going to have a crack at this second set in your own time. If you need that little bit of extra rest, that's absolutely fine. Take that breather, somewhere between 30 and 60 seconds breather today. Slow on the descent, slow on the negatives, feel it pulling at the fibers of the chest. Shoulders down, shoulder blades squeezed together, leading with that chest. 2 reps in for me. Nice and slow. Oh. As you can feel, the strength curve of the movements, the further those hands get away, as the mechanics of the lift become more disadvantaged, the harder it gets. So it's not hard here, it's hard when your hands get further apart. So really work hard, slow that rep down as the hands get further away from you. Oh, I think that's 6 for me. Little rest there on my second set. Oh, feel that on chest already. Yeah. Whew. Well done. Little breather. We've got 1 more of them to do. Just quick check if anybody else has joined us late. Nope. Not to worry. We're still getting a session in. The dedicated few. Mind you, can't blame them looking outside. Last few seconds then, breather. Get this last set of these negative flies in. And we'll have a look at our next exercise in just a second. Right, so if you feel good, let's tackle this last set. Get these negative flies done. Take your hips with you if you're off your knees. Scapula, lead with the chest. Right, here we go, nice and slow. So the heart rate isn't going to be as high as previous sort of sessions, but really that's not our goal on these muscle maintenance sessions. You know, the clue's in the name, of course. You know, if it's heart rate up and a little bit of a cardiovascular emphasis, just there's some other good sessions that we're running through the week. So it's trying to keep these sessions as varied as possible for everybody. So for those who want to sort of target the musculature a bit more, these are good sessions. Those who want that bit of cardio, you know, there's other sessions through the week that you can all have a look at. Or even mobilization, flexibility, core, yoga. There's loads to have a cracker. 6 there for me. Whew, I felt that. I feel that in my chest already. First exercise. So a little breather there. Take some fluids on board. I'll just remind myself, I've forgotten what the second exercise was. Have a quick look.
One arm push-ups.
Single arm push-ups off the knees. So we'll go up with 2. I'll give it a demo in a minute, and then we'll go down with 1. 6 each side. 3 sets of 6, 6-second negatives. So we're going to look for 6 reps on the left side, 6 reps on the right side, shake off. And we're going to run that twice. 3 times 6, we'll do 2. We'll see how we get on. I think 2 will be enough. Depends how much time it's taking us. 4:15 already. Right, okay. Quick demonstration in the next one then. Just trying to target that chest with a little bit of strength stuff. So again, as we've discussed in the past, sometimes when you don't have those sort of classic weights to hand, it's hard to find that strength element, I suppose. So we don't need our slide pads now. I'm going to work off the knees. So I'm going to start at the top of the movement. So take a little bit of a wider sort of stance at the knees. 1 hand behind. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Doesn't matter if try and lightly touch the floor if you can. Obviously, fatigue is going to dictate that you can't do that every rep. Once at the bottom, 2 hands take you back up to the top. You can swap hands if you like. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up we come. And we're going to try and work 6 reps on each side if we can. So the pace of the reps is slow. Heart rate is going to be moderate to low, but that load on the chest is going to be high. So let's have a go at that. The strong amongst us can do this off the feet with a wide stance with the feet. But we haven't done these. We might have done them once. So they're not a staple for us. We don't do them all the time. So let's go off the knees and make sure that the quality of the reps is really, really good. As soon as you're ready then, off the knees, let's try those negatives with a single arm. Really good strength builder. Unilateral work as well is great. You can see if you've got any strength imbalances left to right. So well worth throwing in. So let's have a little go then. Right side to start. Oh, tough then. Even off the knees. We'll get into them as we go. Nice and slow. That was a better rep. So as you sort of get a feel for the reps, it's not a strength thing sometimes. It's more, obviously there's a big strength emphasis. It's more just getting used to the reps. So targeting 12 reps, but not to worry if you can't get them. Ooh, these are tough. Great strength builder. I can feel this in my triceps as well. So chest, shoulders and triceps obviously work in synergy to perform these movements. If I'm getting a little bit of strength crossover into my triceps, then happy days, that's great. Still feel it on the chest though. Once you feel the negative running away from you, call time on the set. So we're aiming for 12, but it doesn't matter if you don't get there. Do what you can with the reps before those reps sort of deteriorate and break down. So a little breather there for me on the first set. Good minutes breather. Give those working muscles every opportunity to recover so they get a chance at completing a good set when we do start this second set in just a second. So we've got one more of those to do. And then rinse that. into our slide pad again, I think. Yeah, arch to fly, negative next. So very, very similar to the single arm stuff. Not quite as taxing. All right then, so if you feel good for this second set of single arm negative push-ups off the knees, let's give them a go. Take the hips with you as best you can. You can deload by taking the hips back just a touch, just adjust your hands. But the more you take your hips into it, your pelvis with you, the harder this movement's going to be. So you can adjust the load. You can vary that load. All right, so where your hips are is very much going to dictate the load that you're working with. So away we go then. Let's have a little look. Get into these negatives. Get yourself set. Two good reps to start there. Tough working that negative. Little breathing in between reps if you feel you need it. Two more for me then. Oh, that one ran away from me a little bit. That's a little sign that I'm getting a bit tired. Oh, that's enough for me on that set. I can feel those. So the last movement then. Might as well take a piece of paper with me. Archer fly push-ups, which we've done in the past. Not exclusively, but we've touched on them a couple of times, I think, if memory serves me rightly. But emphasising the negative, all right? So we're running this negative theme today. And we're just going to assess how we feel tomorrow if we've got that real soreness in the chest, shoulders and triceps. So again, I only need the slide pad on one side. So I'm planting my left hand and I'm going to operate the slide pad on my right. So this is the descent I want to load. All right, so from here, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can work the concentric this time if you want. Push and squeeze, so we're getting the concentric benefit. If you can't, just come back to the top however you want and you continue to work the negative. All right, so you've got the choice on the shortening of the muscle, on the concentric, on the traditional muscular contraction part of the lift, if you like. But remember that it's the negative that we want to load. So if you're strong enough, work the concentric on the way back up. As fatigue hits or you can't complete those reps anymore, any method to get you to the top so that you can do another negative is great. So let's shoot for 4 to 6 good ones each side, dependent on fatigue. All right, when you can't count 6 anymore, the set's done. When the last part of the rep is running away from you, then the set's done. The concentric doesn't matter because you can get yourself back to the top any old way and you can start the next negative. Right, here we go, then archer slides. It's too tough. When you extend that negative, really shortens your ability to get lots of reps. That time under tension is the real killer. That's 4 for me on the first one, on the right side there. Swap over. Left side, here we go. 6. Up and squeeze. Oh. 2 more then. Oh, last one for a good first set. Oh, tough then. 4 each side, 8 reps total. So good time under tension. Could really feel it on my chest. Once you do your reps, take a good breather. Well done. Not easy exercises by any means. I mean, these are tough exercises anyway. But by choosing these exercises and saying you've really got to lengthen the negative, it just makes a really tough exercise even more challenging. So I've done all these reps off the knees. So of course, as we get stronger, you can apply these principles, these movements, and this time and attention to a full push-up, and that would be really, really taxing. So there's a bit of strength progression there for those who want to further strength hypertrophy training. You can do it at home if you're just a bit savvy about the exercises that you choose. Right then, so a little breather there for me. So I'm feeling like I can maybe crack this second set. Shoot for another good 4. You guys start as soon as you feel ready. See if I can get 4 reps with that really good 6-second negative, taking my hips with me. And I'm going to work on the concentric as well. This time I'm going to really try and squeeze back to the top with good technique, as opposed to just getting any old method back to the top to start the negative. So you've got the choice there with the concentric. You can put it in, or you can leave that concentric out if you're feeling really tired. Right, here we go. Ooh, 1. 2. 3. Oh, that's hard, that is. Just 4 reps. Whew, it's a tough 4 reps though. Okay, swapping sides. Here we go. Get my body position right. Try and keep those shoulders as square as you can. Easier said than done. 1. 2 more. Last 1. Oh, that's tough. Oh. Right, so I'm just going to switch back round to the other side for the shoulder bits. We're going to need the chairs in just a second. So 3 movements for chest, really emphasising the lengthening, emphasising the eccentric, the negative portion of the lift. That's what tears all these fibres. You get that micro trauma, the trauma to the fibres. It's the negative portion of the lift that does that. So tomorrow, hopefully, our bodies will let us know that we've been successful at that by giving us a bit of soreness here, soreness in the shoulders, soreness in the triceps. So 3 good movements for chest done. So take your fluids on board, good breather. Let's talk about the 3 movements that we've got to try and hit this collective 3 heads of the deltoids, the shoulders, so that we get that balanced workout. You know, a lot of the guys are just, you know, that with that lack of understanding, just dropping down loads of push-ups. So we're going to try and change the emphasis and try and get it onto the shoulders and then onto the triceps after. So the workout sheet says we've got negative power push-aways. Now, the power push-aways have pretty much been a staple movement for us for the shoulders, and it's there to replicate what you might do in the gym as the military press, as your overhead press, as your dumbbell press. So that's the movement that's sort of, you know, it's a bread and butter shoulder movement. So we're trying to replicate that at home, really. So power push-aways with emphasis on the negative. All right, so we normally do these, obviously, as the name suggests, power push-aways. You would do them fast. Power movements are done fast. So maybe we can't call them power push-aways today, although I do want you to perform the concentric portion of the lift, the shortening of the muscle, the press back to the top as fast as possible. I want you to try and work on that, work on the descent. It's a 6-second pace as we have been doing. So we've got your power push-aways. I'll show you the traditional power push-away first. So hips high. We know that hips high and shoulders over the hands loads the shoulders somewhat. So I'm going to drop and push back to the top. So there's your traditional power push-away. So our modification now is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big drive. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big drive back to the top. 6 reps. Difficult movement. This. Really load on the way down. Feel those fibers being loaded as the muscle lengthens, and then blast your way back to the top as hard as you can with a big drive back to the top. 3 sets on this one, just to kick us off on shoulders. Then we've got some chair walk-ups, 2 sets, and then we're in some isolation for shoulders. All right, so power push-aways then, to start us off. 6 reps if we can. Let's see how we go. It's going to be about 40 seconds of load. See what these feel like. Difficult, I should imagine. Oh, these are hard. Oh, one more. Oh, just about lost the acceleration on that last rep back to the top. So for me, 6 reps with a good 6-second descent is about right there.
Yeah.
Tough that one, Sean.
Yeah, yeah. Feels like she went too far. It might just go ping.
How was that, Alison? You're coping all right with those, Alison? She'll have muted. Put her on mute.
I managed about 4.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, it's designed for strength. So
Yeah.
4 reps there with the slow descent is great. So well done. That's good. You could try a few off your knees. You don't quite get the pike off the knees, but you can modify it that way. You can drop from a 6-second negative as well into a 4-second if you want to. Another option.
I'll try that.
Yeah, another option to scale it, if you want to scale it, is do the negative, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and don't do the power press. Just take yourself back to the top, however you want to take yourself back to the top. So you're only doing the negative, you're not doing the positive lift, you're not doing the shortening, the traditional section of the lift. So there's always little workarounds, little modifications that you can do. But yeah, so a good one, because this week is negative theme, might be just to do the negatives and then take yourself back to the top. Negatives, take yourself back to the top without doing the press. That might be a good way to go. All right, then, second set then. There we go. Two more. Oh, it's tough. Last one. Oh, I couldn't get the press. couldn't get the press on that last one, but that's okay. I can really feel that in my shoulders. My shoulders are killing. It's only the first exercise. Oof. Good those when you load up the negative. Oh, I can really feel them here, front and middle part of my shoulder.
I've got 6 in with counting at 4.
Yeah, that's good, Alison. Did you try without pressing back to the top?
No, I pressed back to the top. I just did 4 instead of 6.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So you can modify the descent. You can take the concentric out of it as well. So what I might do for my last set is just do the descent and then don't worry about the press. Just really focus on the negatives because I know that's the most beneficial portion of the lift. And this week is negative theme anyway. So I'm not too worried if you can't do the press back to the top. Just get those slow negatives in.
Okay.
Right, another few seconds, then we'll have a go at the last set. Hopefully, when we get back in the gym, you might see that your gym lifts have gone up training this way. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Most people are going to be starting from scratch again. Hopefully, these methods get some strength on us. Right, okay then. Here we go, last time now. Just the negatives for me. 1, take myself back to the top without the press. 3, 2, 1, just drop to my knees there, come up and then back into that pike position.
Okay.
To the knees, up, hips up. Oh, it's really hard. If I've gone quiet, it's because I can't concentrate on what I'm doing. Oh, 6 negatives. No positives, but that's okay. I'm not so fussed about that. I'm glad I got the good 6 negatives there. Ooh. My shoulders are battered already. We've got 2 more movements to do. Oh, fluids there. I'll go and grab a drink quickly. Right, so next movement then, a little breather there, took the fluids on board. The next movement is some walk-ups. Now, the reason I've put the walk-ups in is because every time you apply your hand down on the floor, decelerating through the shoulder loads the eccentric. So you might not think it as you walk yourself up and walk yourself down, but every time you put your hand up off the floor and it impacts back down, your muscles are working to decelerate the forces of placing your hand back on the floor. So you've got that eccentric loading naturally in this movement. So that's why it's included today in the negative themes. It's a good one. It's tough on the shoulders. It'll certainly be very tough as those negative push-aways for the shoulders have got our shoulders quite tired. So I'll give you a quick demo for the walk-ups. I'm sure we've done that before. Anyway. So chair in. So I'm just going to elevate my feet. Just walk up, walk up, walk up. As far as that hamstring flexibility will let you, try and get your arm vertical and then walk yourself back out. Maximum reps. Every time your hand leaves and it touches the floor, you've got eccentric loading on the shoulders. 2 sets, as many as we can, and then we'll go into 2 sets into an isolation movement, negatively loaded, of course, because that's the theme to finish off our shoulder workout. So as soon as you're ready, let's maybe hit that first set of our walk-ups for the shoulders. You get a bit of core recruitment as well because you're in this position for an extended period. Let's have a go then. Here we go. Try and take as many little steps with the hands as you can. So your hands are moving all the time. So that way you get that. Every time your hand leaves and touches the floor, you get an eccentric loading. So take your time going up and down through the walks. One more for me. Yeah. Feeling the triceps as well. Oh. So trying to take lots of little steps with the hands up to the top instead of big ones, because every time we know, every time that hand touches the floor, we're eccentrically loaded. So the more frequently that happens, the more benefit to this muscle group we're going to get.
Okay.
That was hard. Good breather. Little rest. One more set of those. How are we doing for time? 22, okay. Doing all right. Keep yourself hydrated on these warmer days. If you're out there doing your cardio in the sun, it might even be worth making sure those electrolytes aren't depleted. Your electrolyte drinks are great. Make your own, don't overlight. One thing to replace the fluids you lose, but as you sweat out those electrolytes as well, they need replacing. Right then, last time, shoulder walk-ups. Let's have them. As many frequent little steps as you can with your hands will make sure that you get maximum benefit from each one of these reps. Little touches. Shoulders are going, the shoulders are leaving. What's it leaving me? Oh, one more then. They were hard. 2 sets of those is enough. So we've got 3 sets of the negative power push aways, 2 sets of those chair walk ups. I'll put 3 on the workout sheet, I think, but 2 is enough. Time will be against us. Getting into our triceps. Plank. Rotation. Plank side raises as an attempt to try and replicate that medial and rear head of the shoulder raises, but we're going to do them with negatives in mind. So we did them the other day traditionally, so that's good because it's laid the foundation for a step onwards into loading the negative. So let's give you a little demo. Let's have a little look at this isolation movement. Well, say isolation movement. There's lots of midsection going on with it. So we're working in the side plank position. Right, so the motion is relative. So if I raise my arm out, I'm getting horizontal and which the rear delts and a little bit of the medial delts contribute to the movement. But if I twist the torso and the arm stays still, the movement is still the same. I'm getting horizontal abduction of the arm. It's just the torso that's moving instead of my arm. So the action of the muscle is the same. So this can replicate those dumbbell raises that are a kind of a staple for shoulder training in the gym. We can get that movement here on the floor. So what I'm looking at is if I put this arm out, that's harder. Put that hand there. I'm looking for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then squeeze back to the top. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, squeeze back to the top. Already feel that in the rear part of the shoulder. So big time rear delts here. A little bit of medial delt, middle part of the shoulder. You've got some core going on being in the plank. So let's give these a shot. Let's try 6 each side, 4 to 6 each side, like we did with the archer flies for chest. So as soon as you're ready with those, let's give them a crack. Let's finish off these shoulders with a replication of what we deem in the gym as an isolation movement. Right, here we go then. Hips up, good count. Let the shoulders turn. Let the shoulders turn. If you want to make it harder, put this arm up and hold it out. Just changes the mechanics a little. Cool, that's hard on the shoulders. Oh, one more. Oh, tough. Oh, little breather before I try the right side. Quick breather, couple of breaths. Just to let the core rest more than anything. My core's not great. All right, here we go. Same the other side. 1, 3, 2, 1, big turn. Oh. Oh, 2 more for me then. Oh. Let the shoulders turn. Don't just reach over with the hand. That lead shoulder, the high shoulder. You've got to try and get that high shoulder to come parallel with the low one. So you're turning 90 degrees. 90 degrees is what we're looking for. 90 degrees of travel for the torso. So those shoulders come from lined up horizontally, lined up vertically to lined up horizontally. And that, you're working the shoulders to the best range you can in that movement. Oh, that was hard. Little breather. All these exercises are quite tough. Again, I'm feeling it where I'm supposed to feel it. I can feel those in the shoulders, which is a good thing. Little rest. We've got one more set of those each side. And then we're into a couple of movements. I believe there's just 2 movements for our tricep. Our triceps are pretty tired anyway at this point. From all the pressing, we've done a load of push-ups there. We've done some shoulder-based push-ups. The triceps are half cooked anyway. It's hard to push up negatives, that'll be tough. Chair tricep extensions again, that'll be tough, working the negative. Right, another second, 15 seconds or so, then we'll get into the final set of these lateral raise replicas. Lateral head. Posterior head, really, with these angles. But it's all shoulders, which is good. So here we go again then. Let's have another shot at it. 4 reps if we can. 5's good, 6 is great. As long as you're not sacrificing that negative. Right, here we go. Lined up vertically, 6 seconds to the point that the shoulders are lined up horizontally, and then back to the top. Get those shoulders lined up. One more. Getting tired now. 4, I think. Good. Same the other side. Get them done. Last one. Oh. I only got 4 each side then. Oh, that's all right. Oh, that was hard. So good breather there, fluids on board. So working through the muscle groups. So we've done chest, we've done shoulders. Try and get into the back of the arms now if we can. So we've got a couple of movements. Tiger push-ups with a negative emphasis. And chair tricep extensions with a negative emphasis. The tiger push-ups are obviously the more difficult of the two, so we're going to do those first. 3 sets of 6 is what I've put down on the workout sheet. 6-second negatives. Let's see how we go. So it's coming up 10-2. So we don't need the chair for the first one. Let's give you a quick demo of the first exercise. Tiger push-ups. So, tiger push-up. I'm just going to go off my knees for demonstration purposes there. Push my hands down into the floor, and that extension of the elbow there from a right angle to straight, that's the tricep. All right, so we know that the tricep extends the elbow. All right, so that's our movement. Negative-wise, so I'm going to start at the top. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drive. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drive. If you're losing the drive, just come up to the top without tricep power. You use other muscle groups to get you to the top, but concentrate on that negative. 3 sets of 6. If you feel strong enough to go off the toes, great, happy days, have a go. I think I'm going to try my first set off the knees. So we've got 3 sets of these. So let's see what they're like when you do, you know, rep after rep of the negative loaded stuff. So as soon as you're ready on your tiger push-ups, let's have a little go at those. You can imagine it's going to be tough. Right, so from the top, let's load up on that negative. Drive up. Drive up. It's a short range because of the floor, so keep it slow for 6. Touch. Up. 2 more. Oh, triceps are burning. Come on. Didn't get the concentric on the last one, but I think 5 reps there for me. 5 bang the triceps. Little breather. Rest those triceps, let everything recover. Same thing, 6-second descent. As soon as that forearm touches the floor, drive back to the top, boom. So you still get that fast twitch, boom, that blast, the explosive element of that lift, strength building explosive element of the lift. When you lose that, just take yourself back to the top wherever you want and work on the descent, work on the negative. Right, here we go then, second set. Oh, six just about. Oh, it's hard off the knees when you're loading the negatives. I can do those. I can do sets of 12 of those full. When I'm just sort of pumping them out off the toes, but not loading. Feel those in the triceps. Last few seconds. Okay, last time round on these negative loaded tiger push-ups. See how we go. Getting tired now. One more exercise to do before we can stretch off the chest, shoulders and triceps. I know time's running out, so we might do just 2 sets of these. Triceps are pretty cooked anyway. Yeah, chair tricep extensions. We're going to bring a little chair in. This is going to give us the ability to pop a little bit more of a stretch, or get the tricep on stretch a little bit more by dropping the head down below the line of the elbow and getting this hand up and over. When we get because the tricep spans the shoulder and the elbow joint, we know if we get that, you know, we can get the hand over the head, we're influencing the tricep a little bit as well that way. So we get a bit more of a stretch on the long head that way. So I'm going to put my hands on top. We've done this one before, so we're familiar. Hips come back. I want the head to drop lower than the line of my hands. I want my forearm vertical, like this, on the chair leg, if we can. That's going to help to get that good stretch on the tricep. And then it's a strong drive off back to the top. 6 seconds into the descent, strong drive back off to the top. So just quick demo from here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 into the stretch, push it back to the top. The more I take my hips, take your hips with you. You can go full here to be really, really strong, but not loading the negatives. We can't. Maybe someone strong doing straight reps. Yes, fair enough. But not loading the negatives. So as soon as you're ready, then let's go for 2 sets of these. 6 seconds loading the negative. We've got a good negative thing. Here we go. Oh. Oh, 2 more reps, come on. Doesn't seem like much, does it? Oh, 1 more. Oh, once you've done your reps, little breather. Oh, that burns. Burnt on the back of the arm. We've got 1 more to do in just a sec. Oh. Quick check of the time. No clock in here at the minute. 1 minute past. Right. Let's get this done then. Let's have this last set, 6 reps. Then we'll have a good stretch off. And I reckon we'll be feeling this tomorrow and the day after. Right, here we go. One. Come on. That's 4, 2 more then, come on. Last rep. Oh, yeah, that's how I felt. Tough stuff. Chest, shoulders and triceps. Suitably worked there, I think. Not loads of reps, not loads of thrashing around, jumping around, explosive stuff. Really focusing on the movement, low rep counts, but high time under tension by counting those negatives out. And we'll be feeling that tomorrow. Loading the negatives is a very good way of damaging those muscle fibers, which is a great signal for strength and muscle gains. Right then, so let's stretch out the chest. So we know the chest is responsible for horizontal adduction. So when we abduct, we know that we're going to get the chest to stretch. If you internally rotate, you're going to get the shoulders, a bit of bicep. So turn everything over, externally rotate, stretch out that chest. Put a bit of a pulse on it if you want. Get those deeper fibers. Stretch out the chest. So we did a bit of shoulders earlier. So thinking of the line of the fibers, the medial shoulder vertically abducts, takes everything up this way. So reversing that should get those fibers on stretch. You can just see them a little bit. Stretching out the fibers of the middle part of the shoulder this way. Whilst we're in this position, turning the hand down should help us hit the rear part of the shoulder just that little bit better. So we'll just go straight into the rear delts there. Changing over, middle part of the shoulder on the opposite arm, arm up. Feel that point of discomfort, that's where you want to be feeling it. And then into the rear part, palms down. Gets you can see the rear delts now on stretch, the line of the fibers. I'm going to try and get them on stretch. Front shoulder, interlock the fingers, push down, stand up nice and tall. Try and get your thumbs away from your bum. You can hold on to your chairs if you want to for this one, just to get that get the hand further into hyperextension, which is what stretches or the shoulder into hyperextension, which is what stretches the punch. And relax there. Final muscle group then for today. Into the tricep. Hand over the head. Tricep spans the elbow and the shoulder. Putting the biggest distance between the elbow and the shoulder puts the tricep on its maximum stretch. Change last time. Rest there. Well done. Excellent. I'm really glad we're having a negative theme, because it just has that little bit of variety. We're not training the same week after week after week. We're trying to give it a little bit of thought. We're trying to make sure that there's different stimulus for the body, and we're trying to introduce you to different methods that you can use in the gym when you get back to the gym in your own training. So if you're learning all this different methodology, you can apply it to anything in the gym. So it's certainly worth breaking the monotony and trying this new stuff out. So even though there's only 3 of us today, it was a good one. It's a shame the other ones missed out, but hey, there you go. We'll maybe come back to it in the future, depending on how long we're locked down for before we can get back in the gym. But thanks for joining us. Such a sunny evening.
Thanks.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah, no worries,
Thanks.
pleasure. And we'll run the same principles tomorrow.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks
Bye.
a lot, nice one.
Bye.
Cheers. See you both
Yeah,
later.
bye.
See ya.